All right, we are live. This is
We're live. It's Friday
hold
night,
up.
dude.
Jesus Christ.
It's a Friday night. Lighten up.
This is called If Not, Why Not? That's the title of the show, and we're going to play a little song before it goes.
If not, why not? Should I sit here in this cracked vinyl booth, grease dripping from a fat, sloppy cheeseburger, fries crisp as a fresh slap, ketchup smeared like blood on the plate? If not, why not? The world's a mess anyway. Let the grease coat my guts, let the salt sting my lips. Should I guzzle cheap whiskey till my eyes blur, stumble into the boss's office and sock him square in his smug, pencil-pushing jaw? If not, why not? He's got it coming, that bastard, with his tie too tight and his soul too small. Should I fire up the internet, that glowing sewer of the mind, and sink into a skin flick? Some grainy, desperate dance of flesh to drown out the hum of this shitty apartment. If not, why not? It's there, it's free, and it's better than staring at the peeling paint or the roach crawling over last night's bottle. Should I blow off work, tell the alarm clock to screw itself, and sleep till the sun's a dull ache through the blinds? If not, why not? The paycheck's a joke, the job's a cage, and the hangover's already whispering sweet nothings. Should I flush the toilet or let the turd sit there, stewing in its own stink, a little monument to my mourning? If not, why not? It's my bowl, my crap, my rules, let it simmer like a poet's bad mood. Should I crack open my skull on the internet, spill every jagged thought, every curse, every howl I got, and advertise it like a neon sign? This is me, you pricks, deal with it. If not, why not? The world's already choking on lies, might as well toss some truth in the gutter and see who slips on it. This could be a book, raw and ugly pages stained with beer rings. Could be an article shoved in some zine nobody reads. Could be a screenplay, me the anti-hero staggering through dive bars and dead-end days, spitting in the face of the 9-to-5 gods. Bukowski, get it? He'd nod, light a cigarette and say, kid, you're onto something. Now pour me another. If not, why not?
Well, Joey.
Well, I think that was actually not bad, Brian. I'm enjoying your evolution here. Very nice. I do have a song of a similar title. Maybe we could play that one as well.
You want to play it now, or do you want to bloviate a little bit?
Bloviate.
Well,
yeah. What drove you to write that song? Obviously, there's some personal stuff in there. So,
well, there was an old man who I helped look after, along with a few other people, and he would say little things like "one hand later" and "why not?" And then one time he said, "Why not? If not, why not?" And I kind of mimicked that a little bit. There was a guy, his last name, his first name was David and his last name was Yu. And I thought to myself, David Yu. It's not David me, it's David Yu. Hell, I don't know. The new Disney movie is out.
Your brain does have a fine grasp of the obvious. That's great. Yes, it is out,
and it's not getting good reviews.
I was gonna go, but I saw a couple of reviews and I changed my mind.
Yeah, I heard Gal Gadot's really terrible.
Yeah, She's not one of my favorites. She would not have been my first pick.
No, and I'm not a fan of the live action stuff, and I think they've done enough of the live action stuff, the animation from live action. Again, I think you and I have a great idea of a live action movie to animation, which I think would work better actually, or just as well as an original animation, because you cannot. The actor that's playing it, I don't think you could do it justice. And I think animation would do it more justice than somebody actually playing that part. Just a thought. I don't know if you would agree or disagree with that.
I think, yeah, I tend to agree with that. Sure. Sure.
Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever, like when you were in college, have you ever like just said, man, I don't want to go to school today. I'd rather just go to a movie, man, and just skip it.
In college?
Yeah.
I think I did. I may have pulled that off once or twice. Yeah.
Did you ever do it in high school?
Yeah, maybe not as much. Maybe once or twice in high school. I was around a lot in high school.
Yeah. How about, did you ever take the day off of work and go to the movies?
I did do that. Yeah.
If not, why not?
Yeah, I did. I don't remember what I saw, but it was probably a good movie.
Yeah. A couple times I did it. The movie was shitty.
Do you remember either of them?
One of them was it wasn't it was Tales from the Dark Side, and it was all right. Actually, when I saw that, John Ritter was there.
Creep Show was good. Not Creep Show though. Tales from the Dark Side, right?
Creep Show was a better movie than Tales from the Dark Side, by the way.
Oh yeah.
So why don't we play this song and I can think of something to bloviate about?
Okay, I just had to re-upload it, so it's the very last song on there. You should see it.
Should I play it, or do you want to play? I don't see it. I see Concrete Don't Sleep, and I see you might have.
No, I'll play it. I have it here.
All right.
Plans in my head, but I keep scrolling instead. If I don't move, who will? Who will? If I don't speak, who feels? If not, why not? What's the hold up? What's the fear? If not now, then when's it clear? If not me, then who appears? If not, why not? He had it all and let it fall. Chased the crown, forgot the call. Brilliance fades without the grind. Greatness dies if left behind. The grass looked greener every time, till he saw it was just his mind. If I don't rise, who climbs? If I don't try, who finds? If not, why not? What's the hold up? What's the fear? If not now, then when's it clear? If not me, then who appears? If not, why not? He had it all and let it fall. Chased the crown, forgot the call. Brilliance fades without the grind. Greatness dies if left behind. The grass looked greener every time, till he saw it was just his mind. If I don't rise, who climbs? If I don't try, who finds? If not, why not? What's the hold up? What's the fear? If not now, then when's it clear? If not me, then who appears? If not, why not? If not, why not? What's the hold up? What's the fear? if not now. If not you, then who?
Yo, yeah, old school bluegrass. I like old bluegrass. How about you?
Sure do. You know what? I just want to say that the JFK files, I guess, are out, and I don't know if there are any bombshells. And are we going to see any bombshells out there? Are they going to keep all those shells swept up under the lasagna?
Brian, you probably know my take on this, but there is still a lot redacted. This is a nothing burger as of yet. When the real truth bombs are dropped, you shall feel them. I don't think anybody will miss that.
I'll tell you that. Yeah, Joey. Oh man, you're making me hungry for a good cheeseburger. What do you like on your cheeseburger? How do you like it? How do you like it? What kind of cheese?
I like it a mess, dude. I am big on veggies, so if it's got crisp lettuce, onion, tomato and pickle, and then mustard and ketchup if you want.
You ever like bacon on that motherfucker?
What's that?
Do you ever like bacon on that mofo?
I'm not a big fan of unless it's really crispy. So you got to ask for it's such a. By the time I'm done asking for what I want, I'm sure my burger's going to get spit on. So I'd rather not even ask for it. But like really crispy bacon is an asset for sure. But Absolutely. Just bacon on there is kind of it does not help at all. It's kind of like. If it's not very lean pastrami, don't even mess with it. It's not worth it.
Now, and are you like me, or do you like your fries? Like if they're steak fries, do you like them like extra crispy?
Of course, extra crispy, and maybe even some of that special salt on it. You know, why not?
Oh, if not, why not? If not, why not? Get that burger.
You know what's really good, and it's rare to get it, but if you get some like melted cheese to dip it in.
Oh, I've never. Now that is really decadent. I've had pastrami on my burger, and those days are kind of being diabetic and high blood pressure a little bit in the rear view mirror for me. I wish I hadn't overdone it, but I did. But sometimes, you know what? I'll get a little special. I'm just going to say, man, I'm going to get a cheeseburger and maybe some crispy fries. What do you like with what kind of drink do you like with your cheeseburger and crispy fries, Joey?
I really like a nice ice water, but if I'm going to do a drink, I don't know. Anything will work. A nice icy cold Coca-Cola works, but
how about a frosty milkshake?
I don't do the shake, and it's just it's too much.
Now have you saved room for dessert?
Well, yes, and I would probably go for a cheesecake.
Oh, there we go.
I think a cheesecake is good. So sometimes I'm in a good mood for a good rice pudding, or a banana bread pudding. Even
I would go to Bob's Big Boy. Remember their burgers? I'd get their burger, fries. Oh, yeah. When I get them, sometimes I just get a Coke, and then I would if I had a really good money day, I would have hot fudge cake.
Right, that hot fudge cake. Did you ever have the chili size there?
No.
So the chili size was like the spaghetti with chili over the top, and at the bottom they put the patty, and they'd give you a dish of chopped onions to throw over oh my God.
My mother. Have you ever had chili mac?
Yeah.
My mom used to make the bomb chili mac.
What was her secret?
She'd put it in the oven, like she'd
Ah, yeah. There you go.
the cheese on it and put it in the oven, like she'd get the pasta, make the homemade chili with ground beef, and then she put she'd put both an even match of like first she put down the pasta, then the chili, cheese, then pasta again, and then chili and cheese on top, and let it simmer in the oven, and you'd get a good and she'd cut squares.
Wait, would she put onions in these or no?
I didn't like onions, but if you wanted onions on theirs, you could probably ask her for onions. Yeah, sometimes she put onions on her chili.
I'd be really rude and ask her for some onion.
Yeah. She also made. Sometimes she'd make stuffed peppers, and I never ate the peppers. I always ate the side.
The whole key to that, of course, is if she made it with rice.
Yeah,
Oh,
rice,
yeah.
sausage, hamburger, bolognese inside the pepper.
Oh, wow.
Rice, yeah. You don't like that stuff, you probably come over,
I would eat the pepper. I love bell peppers, and I love them in dishes. I can't believe when people eat everything but the bell peppers. Drives me absolutely insane in my brain. I don't get it, but more for me, I guess.
Yeah. There was a place that serves. It had basically it was a pizza with potato wedges inside. It was really delicious.
Yeah. See, to me, that sounds a little too carborific. Like I do love a cheese stuffed crust. Cheese stuffed crust, if they're done right, are just absolutely great. But potato, I guess I could see it working. Probably not my first choice.
Yeah. But oh my God.
Were you ever a wings guy? Do you have a favorite wings place?
I do have. There's a place called Wingstop that had a really good. That I like their teriyaki wings, really tasty. And I remember also there was a place called Mrs. Garcia's that had the best steak nachos. Yeah.
I love Mrs. Garcia's because they always put a fried green onion on top of your thing.
Oh, you remember Mrs. G's too, homie?
Yeah, dude, Mrs. G's is great. Yeah, yeah.
My God, that was so. Oh, it was amazing.
You remember the green onion, right?
I'm not a fan of onions. My brother does, but I'm not.
You remember it?
Well, people were like, "Yeah, the green onion." Like they really knew how to make the. Yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah.
And it was one next to the Pollo Loco in the movie theater, right?
There was one over there in Canoga Park where I used to go. There was a movie theater in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. God, now I'm getting hungry. Or I don't know if this food talk, if you've already eaten, so you're not hungry, but this food talk is making my.
I've been eating a lot today, and I've got some stuff in the kitchen ready to demolish. So yeah, no, for sure. This was very good though. Kind of short, and I don't see many comments. I really want to see some more commentary, and you definitely don't want to miss our upcoming shows. They're going to be filled with excitement as usual. I think I've got to do more on my end to answer some of your ridiculous commentary. I think it's only fair. and you may think the same of mine, and that's good too. But we're going to thrive only if we can get people to communicate with us.
Yeah, and that's the key. And here's the deal, and that's my whole thing with the show. If not, why not? Why can't I say that? Why can't I do that? Why do you do this to me? You know. Oh, here we go. We got Mirnan.
Oh. All right.
We did have
that word. Mirnan.
We did have someone say something. Mirnan.
Mirnan.
My whole thing about this show and all the the whole free speech is, if not, why not? Why can't we have free speech? Is it because people might go crazy? People can't handle that? That sounds really stupid to me. So I'm going to play us out.
Yes.
And if you want to play a song,
go ahead. Play a song. Make it good. We don't know if these people will return and listen to us again.
Probably not. You know what? This is just practice for now. I
will not turn it down. And in fact, Brian, I might even turn it up a little louder. That's just how I roll.
Yeah, I think I'll play. You know what? I think I'll do us one song, and then we'll come back, and then I'll play us.
Let's come back.
Wired for Guilt or Crying on the Internet, Crying on TV. Let's let me. Here's one called "Flapping Your Gums."
Flap those gums.
They're flapping your gums, saying, I'm a champ at whining straight out of Elon's grimy little shithole. Alright, doll, spill it then. What's a polished dame like you doing slumming it in this filthy dive? You pin me as a cranky old pessimist, and hell maybe I am. That dark streak got beaten to me by my old man, a real bastard with an ego so bloated it could choke a horse. Growing up under that kind of swagger sharpened my nose for cluster B types. Histrionic, egocentric clowns, like I can smell sour milk curdling in the fridge. And Christ, the progressive left's got that stench wafting off him in waves. You dished out some high and mighty advice to your little snot-nosed brats, told them to ditch the screens and not end up like me. Well, I ain't got no rugrats that I know of. Probably couldn't handle a damn Kleenex box, let alone some squalling bastards. But if I did have a couple of my seed running around, here's what I growl at them over a warm beer. Your history kicked off when my load hit the jackpot, and it's done when the worms start chewing. Also, Kid Tough beats me any day, cause I've watched too many iron fists turn into trembling beggar's paws, and it ain't pretty.
All right.
I wanted Julie's girl, she was a flippin' hoe. I wanted a fan, and she was a toy. I want so shoddy, and I got greedy though.
Well, she says it's beautiful poetry. Let me see here. Let me see what I want to play. Do I respond to the doggy?
I have one. I'm going to upload that song because it's kind of good.
All right. As you do that, I'll do. Should I do my response to someone trying to guilt trip me? Stop crying on television. I like this one.
Oh no, the tears are falling. Cue the zoom and cue the lights. Oh, that's bright. One rehearsed apology, time to monetize. Your pain's a brand, your grief's a show. You cry into the camera, throw money. Is this real?
No.
Is this pain?
No.
See, or is this a Netflix deal in the making? Turn the volume up, it's primetime regret. Another life meltdown, place your bets. Stop crying on television and the other. Watch we see through your tears and your empty thrive. Yeah, every soap story comes with a check, and we ain't your pain. Not yet. Oh look, the influencer's weeping again. I swear I'm so broken, like, comment, send. Eat your suffering, sell it as proof. A clown with a tissue in a soundproof booth.
These tears are heavily edited. Do you want to skip this trauma? Pay for premium.
Stop crying on television and the other. What do we see through your tunas and your empty third eye? Her every soap story comes with a check, and we ain't buying your pain. Not yet.
This has been another episode of Manufactured Misery. Tune in next breakdown.
All right, do you got a song?
Yeah, I got one. I thought I thought the best compliment on that one was this is like Malone Post. All right, that made me laugh. Okay, I do have a song, and it's kind of short. It's a little over a minute. Let's see how it goes. Let's see if I can get to the right spot here. Oh, here we go.
I wanted Jessie's girl, she was a flippin' hoe. I wanted a fan, and she was a tart. I want so shoddy and I got Greedo. Jessie's girl, she was a flippin' hoe. I wanted a fan, and she was a tart. I want so shoddy and I got Greedo. Jessie's girl, she was a flippin' hoe. I wanted a she fan. She was a so shoddy. I want so shoddy. I got Greedo.
All right, there we go. I wanted Jesse's girl, and we got a lot of different kinds of songs on here, and I'm really starting to appreciate yours more and more. Was there one that you had in mind?
Let me take a look here. Should I play the Guilt Industrial Complex? Here we go.
At its core, the guilt industrial complex is a machine that runs on the fuel of shame. Of institutions, ideologies, and individuals that profit financially, socially, or politically from keeping certain groups perpetually apologetic and others perpetually aggrieved. Think of it as a factory. Raw guilt goes in and out, comes a product. Whether that's policy concessions, financial handouts, or cultural dominance, the assembly line includes government programs, media narratives, academic curricula, corporate diversity initiatives, and activist movements, all humming along in sync. The term borrows from Dwight Eisenhower's military-industrial complex, but swaps out weaponry for emotional manipulation. Where the military version thrives on war and fear, the guilt version thrives on remorse and resentment. It's less about tanks and more about tears, though the tears are often crocodile tears, shed for strategic effect.
What'd you think of that?
Damn, that was a whirlwind. I liked it. So that's another one of those creepers. I think I'll have to listen to that a couple more times because that had a lot in it. You're getting better though.
Well, thank you kindly.
Thank you. How's our comment box looking tonight?
Oh, all right. Here's one that I wrote about.
Here's a suggestion. Write one called "Elon is a Mexican Slave." Do you think that's?
That might be for next show. Or Elon.
Jeez, wow. Okay.
Elon has a lot of kids. All right.
He does. Wow. 8 is enough.
Here's one of a guy on that I responded to. The guy talking about Jesus and how MAGA's not real Jesus-like or Christ-like. Here's something.
Some jittery punk on TikTok was flapping his gums, moaning about true Christianity and how America's no sanctuary for the pious me. I'm just a washed-up relic, a 2-bit typist with a chipped glass of bourbon and a Bible. I've skimmed maybe once back when I still cared to crack a book church. Haven't darkened one since the last day my tail dragged me in for cover. But you woke progressive mugs, you're the lowest breed of bottom feeders I've ever had the displeasure to clock. Smug as a loan shark's grin. You prop up those Antifa hoods and BLM sob sisters, all of them strutting like they've got the world on a leash. I don't know if this country's got a halo or horns. Don't much care to find out when it wasn't stitched together by your kind. You spineless pyros torching Tesla lots for kicks. Time was when the streets were mean and the nights colder. My people lean hard cases with empty stomachs and fists like sledgehammers. Would have spotted your cod from a block away. They'd have tailed you to the edge of town, roughed you up good, and left you bleeding in the gutter. No questions asked, they knew a grifter's game. Lived it, breathed it, tasted it in the sour tang of hunger and sweat. So on behalf of those dead, tough as nails ghosts who'd have snapped your neck before hearing your spiel, take your sanctimonious TikTok yap and shove it, beat it. You cheap, loud-mouthed chiseler before I do it for...
That was, the original version, I was too vulgar. I was really using some foul language.
Yeah, that one kind of gave me diarrhea.
Good. You need it. So, let's see. I like the rough around the edges, flapjacks.
Flapjacks, yes.
You ever had flapjacks for dinner, Joey?
I generally stay away from flapjacks, but I do enjoy a good pancake.
I like it when it gets soggy from the syrup and just slurping it down like a hog. And
butter and syrup, though, but it's got to be butter and just syrup.
Butter, syrup.
Yeah.
Do you remember IHOP had all forms of syrup?
Boysenberry and crackberry. Yeah, they had it all.
Yeah. Just a dream of...
strawberry, maple, and probably like some other foreign substance.
Oh, I should write about sugar-free gum farts. I don't know. Sometimes, anytime I go about farty poos, it goes against the terms of service. Of I wanted to write a really nasty one about MFX, but it wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let me. Oh, I like steak and eggs too. You like good steak and eggs?
Who are you asking?
You, Joey.
I'm a fan. It's got to be a good steak. I don't want a chewy steak. It's going to be very tender if it's going to go with eggs at all. So I don't know. It seems like a very hit or miss proposition unless you're eating somewhere pretty nice.
You know, I'm going to do this when human beings rise to dominate.
Oh, by the way, did you know that they closed the pantry about 2 weeks ago?
What pantry?
Did you ever eat at the Pantry in downtown Los Angeles?
Not in a long time.
You know about it though on Figueroa.
Yeah.
So that place was a hallmark of downtown. You can get these gigantic pancakes, and they would serve the best, like just huge pieces of bacon, and it was all done really great. And the waiters there had been there. They were career waiters. The main dudes they're there 40, 50 years. But yeah, it just closed its doors like 2 weeks ago. Gone.
Boo, yeah.
Boo.
Boo. This is human beings.
Human beings rose to dominate this planet through strategic cooperation, empathy rooted in mutual survival, not utopian fantasy. I argue it's the warrior's code, loyalty to tribe, not a universal hug fest. Empathy's a tool, hardwired for kin, not a blank check for every sob story. Perhaps deeper spiritual alignment, not some emotional con game. Your posts, though, drip with racial resentment cloaked as insight. You're not after understanding. You're swinging for moral high ground. It's weakness masquerading as virtue, manipulation through guilt. The ego's iron fist, not the soul's hand. It's conquest, not cooperation. You wield shame like a blade, not a bridge. Mutuality's nowhere in sight. Like a blade, not a bridge. Mutuality's nowhere inside.
Is a pity fuck better than no fuck at all, Brian?
Of course.
Oh.
Boo! Shut up! To stage.
Sit down.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Human beings rose to dominate this planet through strategic cooperation, empathy rooted in mutual survival, not utopian.
All right. What's laughable?
Just the end of that was chaotic.
Now, someone said this was beautiful.
I did hear that. Yeah. What I did want to know what is happening at one point.
Mm.
And yeah, what did you think, listener? We have one listener tonight, apparently.
Yeah, that's all we can afford.
Really appreciate that.
That's all we can afford. Boo-hoo.
Yeah. Here's some money. Come hang out with us.
We're broke. You know what? I'm going to do this one is MAGA Civil War. This was during the first stages of our immigration issue, and Vivek and Elon were talking about B1 visas, and
oh, hooray! Yeah.
The heavy MAGAs were not having it. This was early on. This is a little bit of early history. Here we go.
MAGA Waga.
Elon's rockets reaching stars. Vivek's ideas changing bars. Tech giants call for open doors. Who fights next in this grand tour? In the streets they shout and scream, dreams of Silicon gleam and team. Up their sign. lights within the night. Which way flows the future's light? In the streets they shout and scream, dreams of silicon gleam and team. MAGA crowd holds up their signs, watch the battle, read the lines.
All right. Anything else before we call this show a day?
I feel like you've got to redeem yourself and play a better song. That one was
Really?
that was really bad. You've got to leave on a high note. Watch the movie. What was that movie you told me to watch? I think it was Stacy Keach.
Oh, Fat City?
Watch Fat City. That's a Brian story right there. If you want to get into it, that story is damn good and good to watch.
I might play the peekaboo dance. I think the females would really like the females in the audience would really like the peekaboo dance. Let's just play a minute of it, and if it gets too crazy, we'll turn it off. This is
okay
for all the ladies here.
You got the
Yes.
It's me, oh yeah, not going anywhere, oh yeah, oh yeah. Look at me, pay attention, hey, hey, hey. Watch me dance, I'm here to stay. Dance floor's hot, feel the beat, beat, beat. Move your feet, can't stay in your seat, seat, seat. Groove along, let's have some fun, fun, fun. Night is young, we just begun. Peekaboo, I'm shining bright, bright, bright. Dance with me all night, all night, all night. Feel the rhythm, feel the flow, flow, flow. Peekaboo, let's go, go, go. Hands up high, touch the sky, sky, sky. Don't be shy, let's fly, fly, fly. Spin around, feel the air, air, air. Peekaboo, I'm everywhere, everywhere. Oh yeah. Dance, dance, feel the vibe, vibe, vibe. Groove, groove, don't hide, don't hide. Oh yeah. Peekaboo, it's true, true, true. We're dancing, me and you. Peekaboo, it's me, oh yeah. Not going anywhere, oh yeah, oh yeah. Look at me, pay attention, hey, hey, hey. Watch me dance, I'm here to stay. Hands up high, touch the sky, sky, sky. Don't be shy, let's fly, fly, fly. Spin around, feel the air, air, air. Peekaboo, I'm everywhere, everywhere. Oh yeah. Dance, dance, feel the vibe, vibe, vibe. Groove, groove, don't hide, don't hide. Oh yeah. Peekaboo, it's true, true, true. We're dancing, me and you. Peekaboo, it's me, oh yeah. Not going anywhere, oh yeah, oh yeah. Look at me, pay attention, hey, hey, hey. Watch me dance, I'm here to stay.
That was pretty terrible. That was pretty awful.
Yeah, that was awful.
All right, you know what? This is I know other people don't like it, but this is one of my favorite songs. It is from Blood Meridian, from McCormack, who wrote No Country for Old Men. I think I might play this one here.
In the silent desert where shadows creep, there's a man of chaos who never sleeps. With eyes like fire and a heart of stone, Judge Holden walks where fear is sown. He's the arbiter of life and death, no soul escapes his chilling breath. With a silver judge's gavel in hand, he reigns supreme in this savage land. Oh, Judge Holden, he's the lawless king. His name alone makes the brave heart sting. With a wicked grin and an iron fist, in the dust of time he will persist. Men whisper tales of his cruel fate, of blood and bones and endless hate. In the book of darkness he's the ink, a shadow god on the edge's brink. Round campfires glow with trembling might, stories of terror in the endless night. Mysterious figure clad in dread, Judge Holden's legend far and spread. Oh, Judge Holden, he's the lawless king. His name alone makes the brave heart sting. With a wicked grin and an iron fist, in the dust of time he will persist. Judge Holden, he's the lawless king. His name alone makes the brave heart sting. With a wicked grin and an iron fist, in the dust of time he will persist. Men whisper tales of his cruel fate, of blood and bones and endless hate. In the book of darkness he's the ink, a shadow god on the edge's brink.
Joey, now I'm not so impressed anymore.
That was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
We got some fist pumps going on there, so that was good.
I think the fist pump was for the peekaboo dance. Ladies love the peekaboo. Sometimes, I guess.
I've heard that. Yeah, no, that's a thing.
If not, why not?
If not, why not? And when?
And when? And how?
And who?
Yes. You know what? I think I'll do the Ballad of MASH. It's one of the films I'd like to, if I ever had a chance to remake, I would remake the movie MASH and actually make it set in Korea. The other film was, I mean, even though it was in Korea, it was kind of a statement on Vietnam, and I would make it a little bit different.
A little more.
Yeah. Well, a little more about Korea. I mean, and it would.
Well, I mean, Korea was a much more serious war, I think. In my view, I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, both. Like I said, I think a lot of things are taken.
It didn't have the blowback Vietnam had.
No, it didn't. But there's a uniqueness in the Korean and the Vietnam War. Both were, were places where the Cold War was fought, and that Korea was the first wave of the when the Cold War heated up. The Koreans actually wanted our help, and South Korea, much of it is very grateful for our troops. However, Vietnam was a war that we lost. Anyway, let's go with this. This is
Koreans love Westerners, by the way. When I was there, and it's been a while now, but when I was there, I mean, so yeah. Anyways, let's go.
One of the shows that got taken down from Facebook was a show called K-pop Marxist Must Be Shamed. Anyway, let's play this real quick.
In the fields where bombs ignite, mass units try to save lives. Laughter and chaos in the night, striving to survive. Henry Blake with a gentle heart, leading with just a smile. Duke Forrest and Hawkeye smart, they make the war worthwhile. Patchwork of humor and woe, in a land where shadows grow, finding light in the darkest nights, with laughter as their guiding light. Trapper John, with his sharp wit, tames the chaos, makes it fit. Radar O'Reilly, young and keen, keeps the unit running clean. Hot lips with her fierce pride, majors and captains side by side. Klinger in his floral dress proves he's more when under stress. In the theater of war and pain, they patch the wounds and stand again. A family forged in struggle's heat, in every heartbeat, every beat. Patchwork of humor and woe, in a land where shadows grow, finding light in the darkest nights, with laughter as their guiding light. Patchwork of humor and woe, in a land where shadows grow, finding light in the darkest nights, with laughter as their guiding light, with laughter as their guiding light, with laughter as their guiding light, with laughter as their guiding light.
Wow, 3.66. Nice. Oh, shut up.
Try to save lives. Try to save laughter and chaos. Laughter and chaos. In striving to survive. In the theater of war,
What?
they patch the wounds and stand.
It's not over. And you remember Slapshot when he goes, "I'm listening to the song."
Let's just stop this 10-minute song so we can have a break.
Well, some people liked it. Most people hated it and wanted to.
No, not bad. Not bad. Was that song was called Cocaine Bear. That was good.
But let me just say this. Now, I was a fan of All in the Family when I was young.
Right. Me too.
But I think it's kind of dated nowadays. I don't think it's as good, as it was. There are movies that hold up, but not
a lot of the sitcoms are like that. By the way, I did work for a family, and I don't want to say too much, but I remember the boy. They're white. He watched all of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air shows, and I guess now I see that in memes like people will be like, I'm not racist. I watched all the episodes of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That was that guy.
Well, here's the deal with that. I would never even say that. I said, prove it. You call me a name, you prove it.
Right.
And now you want to shoot me? Prove it. Prove you're a faster draw than me. Prove what you are, or get the fuck out. I had a friend who owed money, and they had creditors from India. And Chinatown is a great movie.
It is.
Do you think this person has seen Hombre? Have they seen Hombre?
I doubt it.
Hombre is a great Western. But Chinatown is a great movie. I actually have a song about Chinatown. I might play it. Let's see. Where were you? Where were you, Brian, when OJ was running? I was in a little room watching it. I remember OJ was running.
I was working. I was working at the House of Blues on Sunset, and they drove right by. Al Cowling and OJ drove by in in the Bronco.
By the way, did you ever play in the bar league for Sunset Strip? They had a bar league there that played. Did you ever play in that? Because I helped run that.
No, I never. No.
And by the way, they had a few strippers that worked that place.
I was in a lot of bowling leagues, and in bowling leagues, there were quite a few teams that had porn stars in them.
I think you would have had fun with our bar, because you like softball and ball and baseball and stuff. I think you would have had fun in the bar league.
Oh yeah.
And they serve sandwiches and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And it
It
made a little
did.
bit of a profit, but films are not as fun as they used to be. Not since the people got involved and monitor everything you say, call you names. If you call me a name, define it, prove it. And then do you have the power to enforce that on me? Because you better have some power, and you better be able to inflict pain, because if not, I'm going to laugh at you, and I'll throw you out. I'll throw you out of your own fucking house, piece of shit. How dare you? Now, was there an ape movie that I was thinking of?
There was. You wanted the apes to be people-like.
Oh.
And they were arguing over something.
Oh, what kind of ape movie? Because I've had a few ape movies. We've had a bear movie idea. I've had a Gila monster idea. I'd call it Desert Monster.
I think it was like an interbreeding type of gorilla movie.
What did you like better, Casablanca or Hombre?
Well, I really liked Casablanca, and I think it's because I waited until I was older to see it, and when I saw it, I got it, and I enjoyed all the scenery, and it was awesome.
On the Waterfront. Have you seen On the Waterfront?
I sure have, yeah. Marlon Brando, yeah.
My brother and I used to call him Marlon Brand Flakes. He liked, what? Marlon Brando, the one thing that Marlon Brando have, and that me and Marlon have in common, is we both like to scarf it down. And as he got older, he had a pee bottle by his bed. I think he threw it on a couple of people. And then there was Mickey Rooney. Mickey Rooney was married 8 times. I might do, we might do a movie about, I think we got to have a dueling song about Mickey Rooney's married 8 times.
We got to talk to my dad about Mickey. My dad loved old Mickey Rooney movies.
Oh, Andy, they're entertaining those old Andy Hardy. We're going to put on a show because Mom's in the hospital and she needs a kidney or some shit like that, And then we're going to put on a dazzling, buzzly, Berkeley, cockamamie bullshit, that looks like the show's like $3 million. Yeah. Mickey Rourke, not Mickey Rourke, Mickey Rooney.
Rooney.
Oh, she cried at Casablanca? Are you kidding me? Woo 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 woo. And now SCTV did a thing on Casablanca, but the funniest one was when they did a thing on the Grapes of Wrath, and they called it the Grapes of Mud. And watch out for the mud grape coming at you. I'm mean man. Mean man. Boom man. That gets me mean mad. Sometimes I get mean man. You mean man. Mean man. Mean man.
Some of those old shows that were like variety shows, they were specials for some reason.
Yeah.
And some of those were the best. They would just nobody was safe.
As far as retro TV shows goes, to me, the show, the one that still holds up is the Twilight Zone.
Yeah,
that's still the best thing out there. All the rest are cockamamie bull. Some of the rest. Actually, I like Leave It to Beaver. You ever watch Leave It to Beaver?
I watched the Beav.
Yeah. I wonder if Mandy's ever watched the Beav.
I've watched the Beav. I watched it, but it wasn't. It was already so old looking, and
Eddie.
They were I was on to more interesting characters by then.
Of course, Mandy loved Wally. Gee,
Wally.
Gee, Wally. There were a lot of chicks that thought Wally was a real cutie pie. And then the chicks on the Brady Bunch, the chicks, from my understanding, liked Peter more than Greg. And Wally was also like what chicks liked. Yeah, chicks thought Wally was a cutie pie too. Cutie patootie. Welcome back, Carter. I did not like. It's age. It's ooh, Mr. Carter.
Mr. Carter. Yeah. A lot of these shows just did not age very well. I'm trying to. Three's Company is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean the sitcoms age, because they're just trying for jokes. The sitcoms today are far superior. I still like Family Ties. That's still like.
Yeah.
That's still the best show on TV, man. I mean, like, to me, one of the better shows on television. All right, since Mandy mentioned, and this is not a good song, but you know what? She mentioned Chinatown being great, and I did my Chinatown. This is the Ballad of Jake Giddies. Here we go.
Right. Here we go.
And it's not that good of a song, but you know what? Deal with it.
With a hand as sharp as his gaze, Jake Giddits walks the haze in a town where shadows play through the night and into day. Whispers curled around the street, secrets hidden in the heat. Buildings bow and faces frown. For Jake, it's Chinatown. Rivers flow with tales untold, mysterious and bold, a paradox in every turn, where fires of deceit burn. A dame with secrets he must chase, in a misty masked embrace, echoes of the past profound. For Jake, it's Chinatown. Loopholes weave through every plan, twisted motives of the men, painted smiles and cryptic sound. Forge it, Jake, it's Chinatown. Ooh. Mirrors crack and shadows bleed. Truth is like a tangled reed. Through the layers he is bound. Forge it, Jake, it's Chinatown. Rivers flow with tales untold, mysterious and bold, with paradox in every turn, where fires of deceit burn. A dame with secrets he must chase, in a misty must embrace, echoes of a past profound. Forge it, Jake, it's Chinatown. Loopholes weave through every plan, twisted motives of the man, painted smiles and cryptic sound, falling deeper underground. Mirrors crack and shadows bleed. Truth is like a tangled reed. Through the layers he is bound. Forge it, Jake, it's Chinatown.
So what'd you think?
Yeah, not bad. I guess I'm getting tired of this.
Well, wake up, motherfucker. Wake up and take another spoonful.
Jeez, I need some more Frosted Flakes. That
right.
was horrible.
You know what? I got to make it up with one. This is my. I don't know if this is my favorite. It's not Diggs Hanley. I like the ballad of Antoine Chigurh of No Country for Old Men.
In the dusty streets of Texas, where the shadows fall like lead, walks a man, a ghostly figure, with a path of bloodstains spread. He's a judge, a cold redeemer, with a coin to fate declare. Heads or tails, your life is dangling. He's got deathless eyes to stare. Anton roams the barren highway, silence trailing in his wake. With a moral code like steel, no pity for the lives he'll take. In his hand, a cattle gun, justice served without regard. In his eyes, the world's a balance, life and death cut hard. Oh, Anton, where's your mercy? In the West, it's hard to find, with a heart as black as midnight and no solace in his mind. You can't bargain with his judgment as he walks the road so grim. In a land not made for old men, every shadow's growing dim. At a motel by the highway, fate collided in the night with a man who held a suitcase filled with cash and trembling fright. Anton gave no room for error. There's no mercy for the weak.
Every coin toss shows his terror, every word he doesn't speak. Oh, Anton, where's your mercy? In the West it's hard to find, with a heart as black as midnight and no solace in his mind. You can't bargain with his judgment as he walks the road so grim. In a land not made for old men, every shadow's growing dim. In the lawman's weary eyes, the chase was but a futile cause, for he knew the world was changing, ruled by men with fangs and claws. Anton carried out his sentence in a land where laws decay. In the end, we all are judged when fate decides to call the play.
So what'd you think of that? Is that all so awful? Or you just-
Well, you know what? I don't think it's awful because I think it does tell a story. That's the redeeming value. I think you could either break it up in two, or there's a lot of things you could do. But it's kind of long.
I'm told this is terrible.
Well, it's long. It's long.
Boo! I guess.
You know what?
I like Rocky when I saw it when it first came out, and actually, my father, he was looking our local. It had gotten to our local movie theater, and my father was looking for looking at the times for the movie, and a gentleman on a bike sexually propositioned my father.
What? What did he say?
I'll suck your dick for $2.
Well, what was Ross's response?
Brian, do you have $2? Kidding, no. He was like, "Oh, my son's here." No, but people were like, the 70s was a lot of vulgarity. I mean,
There was
the days when you could just, like when you would walk by, like they had those newsstands, and you'd see in the newsstands, you'd see women like spread eagle and shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know if you remember these. My dad had one.
By the way, this was 1976. Go ahead.
So around 1979, my dad had this incredible tool he would keep in the car. It was like a little flip board with a handle, and each of and you could flip, and all the cards on the thing had these messages. So, if somebody cuts you off, you'd catch up to them and you'd flip to the sign that said, fuck off. And you hold the sign up in the window, and the guy would get the message, or and it just had all these random messages.
Yeah. One of my places that my father worked at, and because he was dealing with customers, and he only used it. Well, he had my grandfather's nightstick, and but then he. I don't know what happened to it. Man, I wish I had. That was a really good, solid nightstick, by the way. But then my father had another stick, and he wrote on it attitude. He wrote the words attitude adjuster on the stick. My old man stick, the attitude adjuster.
Nice.
So
you were 10 years old in the
oh yeah, I was when the 70s ended, I was 11 years old.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I grew up, I came of age, like with movies, I kind of came of age in the 70s and in the 80s. And The 80s more, like the 80s more. I still, but I really grew, like with my movie watching, I really grew and had an affinity for the movies of the 70s.
Oh yeah.
Films like Taxi Driver.
I always did. I even, as we progressed through the 90s,
Yeah.
I was still looking for stuff I missed from the 70s and 80s. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, films like Fat City, Taxi Driver.
Fat City, I missed up until the 2000s. You told me about it. And
it's a great film, man. I mean, like just a slice of life, and
yeah.
Midnight Cowboy, even though that was the late 60s, but the late 60s and the 70s kind of intermeshed before Rocky came around, because Rocky was the film where they wanted happy, like where happy endings. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Now, the book, by the way, of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest primarily deals with the Indian character.
He was the narrator in the book.
He was?
He was the narrator.
Yeah. No, I thought he said he was married in the book. I'm like, wait.
No.
Yeah. He's also, yeah. Oh, so you remember, you've read a little bit of the book, huh?
Oh, yeah. I was a reader.
But that's a great film. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But someone said after Jaws was the first kind of blockbuster that kind of changed the darkness of the 70s, and then Rocky, and then once Star Wars hit, that's when they basically the formula of happy endings and kind of making kind of the B movie. Big budgeted B films started to really. Oh, Rosemary's Baby. That's when I was born. Actually, I was born a year after, but and The Exorcist.
Right, Rosemary's Baby was a it's a very good movie to watch now. With all that's transpired, it honestly, when I saw it when I was young, it made no sense to me, and the payoff was kind of weak. But now, the movie is very profound, and I really enjoy it. So that's a movie that's appreciated big time over time for me. The Exorcist, same way. I've talked about this a million times, but The Exorcist continues to be just a really insightful movie, and it's not just about the weird, freaky monster. It's about what's being said in that movie. That's just wow, just keeps you hanging.
For me, the best part of The Exorcist is the beginning when he's in Iraq. Just the most interesting part. And also, it's interesting when you look at like audience reactions to The Exorcist. It was just so different, and lines around the block because it had been something that they'd never.
Well, a lot of those people are cherry picked. Now that I look back at the movies, at the people they did review, they really did. I don't think they allowed like the a certain point of view on that movie to happen, and there was probably a lot of hatred too, so they're probably just trying to keep it on the up and up.
Well, here's the deal, man. I mean, you're gonna what, publicity, you want the good publicity, and people that are scared. I mean, the one thing that they were showing a lot of is people like leaving the theater. It was so scary, it was so frightening, and that just gets people to want to see it, even if they go, "Oh man, I don't think I can handle it." But at the end, if it's something really shocking, people still, even now, there's a film out that's cost next to nothing, but it's so shocking that people will go to see it. And I've said before, if you do a movie that is $6 to $7 million and it's got the same, even the negative press that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs has, it'll make a profit. I don't think this is because I think there's been like over $300 million spent on that film. But if
a lot of it is timing, and I don't think it's a great time. It's really good timing for that movie at all. I'm surprised it's a thing now. I still want to see it, and I want to know, is Snow White a hoe? I got to find that out.
Well, you know what? They've been showing pictures, close-up pictures on her back, and you know what? I just thought of this, but I thought about doing a show about hairy backs, and there are women that have hairy backs, and I love The Wizard of Oz.
Especially Gal Gadot, there's a good chance she's got a hairy back.
Well, not Gal Gadot, the Rachel is it Ziegler or whatever. She's got a hairy back. She's part Jewish and she's part Latin.
Oh, that's a recipe for a rug.
Yeah. But did you ever see the movie Return to Oz?
Oh.
3 versions of that. There was one animated version, and there was another.
I have seen the animated version, I want to say, but that's it.
Yeah. I haven't seen Wicked. You know what? One of the stars in Wicked, when she was doing interviews and acting stupid, such a turnoff for me. That when they behave in such just an egocentric nonsense manner, it just really bothers me.
You're just such a movie snob.
Well, there's certain like
bougie.
There's certain behaviors that just rub me the wrong. You're not struggling. You didn't grow up in the 30s or the 40s where you had to where your belly where hunger was gnawing at your belly, and these people are drawing drama when hey, that shouldn't be there. Shut your face. Shut your face. Shut your pie hole.
Did you ever see Degrassi?
Yes, I did. It was stupid. The Zit Remedy. You should have called it the pimple grease balls.
There's some guy that kept getting boners in class, and Drake had to be a good friend to him and understand it. Ugh, that's so weird.
You know what? It was really that show was I thought it was awful. But you know what? There are a lot of people that like to see young people and kids and stuff, and that show made me squirt my butthole. Yuck, yuck, yuck. All right, you know what? Since someone mentioned One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, I will play the ballad of Randall Patrick McMurphy.
Randall fought in a far-off war, lost his mind to the battleground's roar, caught a cage and then the cell, a mind like fire behind that jail. Now cut to pieces of his soul, but he came back like burning coal. In the war he met the silent crew, nursed his rule, a bitter brew. He soared over the cuckoo's nest, took a chance when chances rest. Not a man to be kept down, he's the king, no crown, no throne. Freedom called him wild and rough, he played their games, he played enough. Inside bars, but his mind's free. Randall's laughter like the sea. Electric currents and control pills tried to break his iron will, but McMurphy, stormy sky, burned too bright to simply die. He soared
George Foreman passed away. I'm looking to see if that's true. I'm grokking it right now. Oh my God, he died. 76. I remember, man, the rumble in the jungle.
I remember the Foreman grill.
I did too. I didn't like it. But I like George Foreman. I remember when he fought Evander Holyfield. I was, and I knew him more from that than I knew him from the rumble in the jungle.
Well, you must have been pretty young for Rumble in the Jungle, right?
I was about 4 or 5.
Oh,
Yeah. I remember when Ali lost to Leon Spinks. And I remember when he fought Larry Holmes. And
me too. That was a good one.
Yeah. Well, actually, I didn't think that was a good fight. I mean, I remember when he fought Cooney. That was
I thought the matchup was great. I don't think the fight itself turned out too great, but I did like the matchup.
Me too. I mean, George Foreman's no longer with us.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, George Foreman. So he was really an entertaining fighter. Just like a happy guy. I heard some bad stuff about him, but
Did you? Oh wow.
My father actually, Robert Saki, besides being an actor, was an aficionado on the boxing game, and he wrote a lot of things about the fight game, and he had stock in a fighter. And my father also, my grandfather also had stock in a fighter as well.
I did not know that.
Yeah. But, it was...
I have a relative who was a ringside announcer. I think that's pretty neat. I do have a song for Foreman. It might be the first of its kind.
Oh, we'll sing it.
All right, let's play it.
That little countertop hero turned sad frozen patties into borderline gourmet. Cut the fat, kept the whole. We should write a heartfelt jingle or ode to the George Foreman grill. Want to something like, you took the grease, but gave us peace. You grill with heart, right from...
Who's rest in Dubai? Who rest in Dubai? Did he die in Dubai?
Is that a comment from the board? I think that would need to be verified.
Yeah. But George Foreman was a beast.
Well played, I will say. Well played.
And have you ever, you know what I mean? Just for entertainment purposes, have you ever seen the Rumble in the Jungle?
Oh yeah, awesome entertainment.
Oh yeah, I mean, like when he fought Ali that time, that was really amazing. I mean, he kicked the hell out of it. He beat the, even though he was afraid of Joe Frazier, he beat the hell out of him. He was huge. He was huge. He was just a big dude, and he knocked the hell out of folks, and just entertaining all the way around. And back then, we had a few of our great white American. Well, we had a Canadian great white hope and an American great white hope. We had what the hell was his name? No, I can't. We had the Canadian George Chavallo, and then we had the Jerry Quarry. They were the two great white hopes. And yeah, I mean, he was the oldest to win he was the oldest to win the heavyweight title.
That's right. How old was he when he won it?
I think he was 45, 47.
He seemed ancient to me, as a kid watching him. But
Do you remember when he fought Holyfield?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was just great entertainment, all the way around.
Yeah. I think we're getting a little tired. I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna go to bed. I'll play us out with a song.
Yes. Rest in peace, Mr. Foreman.
What should I play, Joey?
I mean, there's only one song left to play.
Dix Handley, the Ballad of Dix Handley. Okay, fuck it. Let's do it.
Do it.
In a dusty old town where the sun don't set, lived a man named Dix, full of dreams unmet, with a heart full of hustle and a past so wild. He played his cards close like a lonesome child, a hand always gripping, never one to fold. Dix Handley sought fortune more precious than gold. In the asphalt jungle where shadows did creep, he planned his one score before he'd find sleep. Oh, Dix knew the stakes, danced with danger's thrill, with a dream in his heart and ironclad will. Just one more heist, then he'd be free, in the heart of the city where he aimed to be. He gathered his crew in a smoky back room, with eyes on a prize that would seal his doom. A plan so tight, not a detail amiss, but the jungle's claws gripped through the mist. The night fell hard and the city stood still. Dix moved in the shadows, chasing the thrill. A bag full of riches, so close in his hand, but freedom slips away like grains of sand. Oh, Dix knew the stakes, danced with danger's thrill, with a dream in his heart and ironclad will. Just one more heist, then he'd be free, in the heart of the city where he aimed to be.
Evander Holyfield, who fought George Foreman in 1991, had this to say: "Today we lost a legend, a warrior, and a friend. George Foreman was one of the toughest men I ever faced in the ring. Those punches, man, I still feel them. He hit me so hard I thought he'd knock all my teeth out back in 91. But beyond that, he was a good soul, a fighter in life, not just boxing. Rest easy, Big George. You'll always be a champ." And
Yeah.
see if any other boxing legends have anything to say about the passing of George Foreman.
What's Sugar Ray say?
Yeah, well, Big Mike Tyson, a former heavyweight champion, was quick to express his sorrow. Condolences to George Foreman's family. His contribution to boxing and beyond will never be forgotten. Tyson's words highlight Foreman's lasting impact both as a fighter and as a cultural figure, especially given their shared history in the heavyweight division. Lennox Lewis, the former undisputed heavyweight champion who never fought Foreman but overlapped with his later career, posted on X, 8:30 p.m. George Foreman was a giant in every sense, inside the ring and out. His comeback at 45 showed us all what's possible with grit and heart. Rest in peace, champ. And Bob Abram, while not a boxer, the legendary promoter who worked with Foreman, offered a poignant reaction via ESPN. George was a great friend to not only myself, but to my entire family. We've lost a family member and are absolutely devastated. Aram's personal connection underscores Foreman's influence beyond the ropes.
Foreman was also inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2003.
Yeah. And Don King responds to his death, to George Foreman's death. Another icon, promoter, King, told Boxing Ring insider Rick Glazer, "Crushed. George Foreman meant so much to me and so many. A legend and icon. He was a man that so many could believe in, both in and out of the ring. He was such a big part of the early years of boxing. What a guy. A King promoted Foreman. King promoted Foreman's famous Rumble in the Jungle with Muhammad Ali, and his emotional response reflects their long history. You know, again, I grew up remembering. I grew up remembering a lot of that stuff, and it sticks with me. And yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my favorite baseball player ever was Ricky Henderson.
Oh.
And when he recently died, that was I had a similar kind of feeling because I spent a lot of my childhood, collecting his cards and just being a fan. And so, yeah, that kind of hit. That was, yeah.
I was a fan of Steve Garvey, and remember Fernando back in the day, Joey?
Fernando, he bit the dust in 24, I think.
Yeah. Did you have any have any shock? Because he died kind of young. Were you?
I saw it. Yeah. I saw him pitch many times. I saw him probably pitch 7 or 8 times, I want to say.
Were you a Dodger fan back in the day, or were you more of an Angels guy?
I was always more of an Angels fan. I had season seats in '82, and always liked them a little more.
Was Reggie Jackson playing back then for the Angels?
Yes, yeah. Reggie, on Fan Appreciation Day, I met all of them. It was great. It's like different time, but yeah.
Remember the Reggie bar?
I remember the Reggie bar. Rod Carew, Tim Foley, Doug DeCinces, Brian Downing. I still remember their whole infield.
Oh, yeah, you got that. It's kind of it's almost like a Star Wars moment. And where were you when the Angels won the World Series?
I was here.
Was it a celebrating mood, or was it not?
Yeah, it was kind of. I celebrated, but yeah, I kind of lost a lot of my childhood joy for baseball at that point.
Me too. I mean, the strike, and then also, when Garvey went to the Padres, that kind of hurt me as well. I just thought it was a money deal and whatnot. All right, let's end this puppy. What else?
Mike Piazza was the trade that did it for me, but you were right. Like, as soon as Garvey left, and suddenly players weren't sticking with their teams, it was over. Anyways, that's it.
Someone likes the Houston Astros.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. Moo, moo, moo. Should I play another song? No. Should I play? I'm just going to end this out, but I'm going to probably this is a little Me in My Hand. Boo-hoo.
Yeah.
I love me, I'm so glam. I hold my own hand. In the movies I stand, no need for a band. Walking down the street, I got my own beat. A solo retreat, dancing on my feet. Me and my hand, together we stand. Feels like a wonderland, just me and my hand. No need for others, no friends or lovers. Me and myself discover life's a solo cover. In the mirror I see the perfect company. Who needs a melody when I've got me? Me and my hand, together we stand. Feels like a wonderland, just me and my hand. Walking down the street,